It's that time of the year again. Pumpkins on porches, candy wrappers on the floor, and horror movies on every screen. But tonight, we are skipping the obvious one. Yes, John Carpenter's Halloween is the undisputed king of the season, but let's give the rest of the spooky bunch their moment in the moonlight. Here are 10 horror films set around Halloween, from cult classics to campy gems that capture the spirit of the holiday in their own twisted ways. If there is one film that feels like Halloween distilled into 90 minutes, it's this one. Written and directed by Michael Dougherty, Trick or Treat intertwines 4 stories all happening on the same October night, from schoolyard pranks to vengeful spirits and werewolf transformations, and tying them all together is Sam, the mysterious trick-or-treater with a burlap sack for a head. Fun fact, the movie sat on a shelf for 2 years before finally getting released straight to DVD, yet it still became a modern cult classic and Halloween tradition for horror fans everywhere. Part action thriller, part slasher, and entirely stylish. The guess is what happens when the Terminator crashes a Halloween party. A soldier shows up at a grieving family's doorstep, claiming to be their son's friend. He's charming, until he isn't. Set against the backdrop of a small town decked out for Halloween, the film's synthwave soundtrack and neon visuals make it feel like a nightmare dressed in 80s nostalgia. The director, Adam Wingard, originally planned to make this a straight horror movie, but turn it into a genre-bending hybrid instead. And it worked. There's talk of a possible sequel. Can't wait to see it released on a future Halloween. It's Halloween night, and a group of teens decide to throw a party at a deserted funeral home. What could possibly go wrong? Once someone reads a demonic incantation, things get wild. Possessions, body horror, and one of the most infamous lipstick scenes in 80s horror. The film's mix of cheesy dialogue, killer effects, and Halloween atmosphere turned it into a VHS classic that spawned sequels and even a 2009 remake. And yes, that demon makeup still slaps today. A lonely guy finds a mysterious invitation on the street to something called a murder party. He bakes some pumpkin bread, makes a cardboard night costume, and decides to go. Unfortunately, the name wasn't a metaphor. This ultra-low-budget indie comedy horror, the debut of Jeremy Saulnier, who went on to make Green Room and Blue Ruin, is a clever mix of awkward laughs, art school satire, and gallons of fake blood. It's Halloween for introverts, and the cult favorite among indie horror fans. This one's pure Halloween candy. A group of friends visit a massive traveling horror carnival, complete with haunted houses, jump scares, and creepy mascots. But among the actors is a real killer in a mask, blending perfectly with the show. The fun concept makes Hellfest a modern slasher throwback, simple, self-aware, and made for anyone who loves the vibe of October nights at a theme park. Bonus fact, the set was built in an actual amusement park in Georgia, giving it a surprisingly authentic look. This is not your traditional Halloween horror, but it feels like one. Set in 1988, the film follows Donnie, a troubled teen haunted by visions of a demonic rabbit named Frank, who tells him the world will end in 28 days, just before Halloween. Part psychological thriller, part existential sci-fi, Donnie Darko is about teenage angst, time travel, and the end of everything. The movie bombed on release but found new life as a cult hit after 9/11. And now it's a staple of spooky season for anyone who likes their Halloween with a side of quantum confusion. If Trick or Treat is Halloween's gothic cousin, Tales of Halloween is its sugar-high sibling. 10 directors, 10 stories, one chaotic night in suburbia. You got ghosts, demons, aliens, killer pumpkins, everything but the kitchen cauldron. It's messy in the best way possible, like flipping through a horror comic where each page bleeds into the next one. And if you look closely, you will spot cameos from genre legends like Lynn Shane and Joe Dante. A delightful blend of a lot of different horror flavors, the perfect bite-sized horror treat for Halloween nights. This one's darker and more tragic. May follows a socially awkward young woman whose loneliness pushes her into obsession and madness, all leading up to a shocking Halloween climax. Angela Bettis delivers an incredible performance that's both heartbreaking and terrifying. Director Lucky McKee said the film was partly inspired by Frankenstein, but reimagined through the lens of female isolation and body horror. It's weird, it's sad, it's a pretty good film. For anyone who's ever visited a haunted house attraction, this one will hit close to home. Shot in a found footage style, it follows a group of friends documenting the country's most extreme Halloween haunts until they stumble upon one that's far too real. It's a perfect mix of road trip fun and creeping dread, and actually, many of the haunted attractions featured in the film are real locations across America you can visit yourself. And finally, let's end on something gloriously dumb. Idle Hands is a stoner comedy where a teenager's right hand becomes possessed and starts killing everyone around him. It's bloody, ridiculous, and proudly 90s. Jessica Alba stars, The Offspring gets mauled mid-concert, and the special effects are surprisingly great for a film that doesn't take itself seriously at all. Perfect for those who like their Halloween with a laugh and a side of gore. And there you have it, 10 horror films that prove Halloween isn't owned by Michael Myers alone. Whether you want camp, chaos, or quiet dread, there is a Halloween story for every kind of horror fan. So carve that pumpkin, light the candles, and press play, because when it comes to horror movies, every night in October should feel like Halloween. Thanks for watching.